Hello! So with me going off to college and all, I thought I would fan the embers of nostalgia by going through some of my childhood toys. Thanks, Carly, for that phrase. Can you totally hear me in your room?
No, in the bathroom.
Anyway, I was a tomboy growing up, so while my sisters wanted American Girl dolls for Christmas, I wanted Imaginext sets. So this was part of the forest set, and so you could like shoot arrows and the tree would fall down. I wasn't into like building any of the castles or anything. I was really into the figurines. One of my go-to story playtime things were these horses. They'd both start out in the prairie, you know, roaming along, having fun, and then this guy would get captured. He'd be in jail, moping around, you know, trying to escape or something, and then finally he would break out of prison. He would meet up with Buttercup. They would escape together. It was like the most romantic love story ever. This wolf was one of my favorite things to play with. He was normally a sidekick to this guy. So whenever a character wore this headdress, you could get the help of the forest animals. The skeletons. Whoever was wearing this Zorro mask controlled dead people. He was usually a bad guy. Probably one of my favorite people in my Imaginext sets was this guy. If you weren't feeling hardcore enough, you could just strap on a cannon. This guy was the main bad guy. Whoever wore this bull headdress became possessed with evil, a killing machine pretty much, onto the protagonist. So I showed you this guy already. He was the Native American hardcore tattoo buff dude, and then you have the Robin Hood figure. These two would go about, you know, fighting crime, and then they would defeat evil possessed guy. I usually only played with this guy when I was in the bathtub because he was a sea creature. He has this wheel on the bottom, so whenever you roll him, he bops like a chicken. He usually went along with the Mermaid King. I didn't really play with him that much. I didn't really care much for like the generic soldiers. Like these two guys, they were usually there just for show. Alright, this was Flying Guy of Awesome and his companion, the Winged Lion. They usually came in at the end of battles to make sure that the good guys were gonna win. So this guy was the assassin, so he would usually come in through the night and try and kill the king. These were two kings that I had. They were usually the typical medieval king where they raise the taxes, they're dumb, and they have daughters who are tomboys who don't want to be princesses. They're usually chauvinistic and stuff, so. There are a couple of bad guy sidekicks that I would play with. First ones were these goblin people. I would normally play with the turquoise one because red was lame. They had these epic phantom capes. Oh, they look so sick. The other sidekicks were these ogres. They look kind of creepy. They would come upon like a group of soldiers. They would tie them up and then cook them for dinner. This is the goblin that would accompany Merlin. So I'd only call upon Merlin if we were in dire times of war and there's no solution. He was usually just there, probably a traitor. I think he was normally guarding Cage prison. So this was the hobo guy. He was either drunk or he was very wise or crazy. He has a six-pack. Wow. Sometimes people would come to him for advice. I think probably the last figure that I got was the Flaming Dragon Volcano set. Dragon King came with it. He was pretty hardcore. He had this sweet dragon helmet thing. One of my favorite machines, Destroyer. It was awesome. You would just move it along. You could shoot arrows from the top and it would just annihilate anything in its path. Buttercup was part of this set. So those are the toys that I played with when I was little. That is pretty much my childhood in a box.